If you thought The Hunger Games was just a story about surviving in the arena, then you've seriously underestimated the world Suzanne Collins created. Because behind the tributes battles are real dramas, family secrets, connections across generations, and even the backstory of a pin that became the symbol of a revolution. Today, we're diving into the family trees of the franchise's characters, and we'll also tell the story of how the legendary Mockingjay pin came to be and how it ended up with Katniss Everdeen. Warning, this video contains spoilers, so if you haven't read the books yet and don't want any plot reveals, save this video for later and come back when you're ready. And hey, if you like these kinds of deep dives, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow. Let's start by mapping out who's related to whom. With the release of Sunrise on the Reaping, a big gap between the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the original Hunger Games trilogy has now been filled with tons of new details. And since the main character of this new book is Haymitch Abernathy, let's begin with him. The Abernathy family was known for being rebellious. Haymitch's father is never named, but his mother's name is Wilhelmine Abernathy. The family had two sons, Haymitch and Sid, and twin daughters who sadly died at birth. Haymitch's father died in a mining explosion. Some say it wasn't an accident. Rumors ranged from sabotage to a capital-ordered retaliation. In Sunrise on the Reaping, we also learn that Haymitch lost both his mother and brother as a direct consequence of his rebellion against the capital. Then let's meet a very interesting character, Haymitch's love interest, Lenore Dove Baird. So who is Lenore Dove? Let's break it down. Her name is quite unique. The first part, Lenore, is likely inspired by an old poem, and Dove, as in the color dove gray, fits the naming patterns of the Covey, a group of nomadic musicians assigned to District 12 and introduced in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Lenore was raised by Clerk Carmine and Tam Amber, both of whom were members of the Covey band alongside Lucy Gray Baird, Maud Ivory, and Barb Azure. Her mother is only mentioned briefly. She died during childbirth, and her father is a complete mystery. In Sunrise on the Reaping, we find that there is a grave for Lucy Gray in the Covey Cemetery. It might be symbolic, or it might be real. Next to it is a grave for Maud Ivory. So who was Lenore's mother? That's the big question. There are plenty of hints, but no confirmation. We know that Lenore knows and sings all of Lucy Gray and Maud Ivory's songs. Her clothing includes fragments of Lucy Gray's famous rainbow dress. Part of her name, Dove, echoes gray. The book mentions she wears an ivory-colored headband, possibly referencing Maud Ivory, since Ivory is her name and the word itself. So, who do you think was Lenore's real mother? Let us know in the comments. Personally, both theories are fascinating. But knowing Lenore's rebellious spirit, I lean toward Lucy Gray being her mother. That, combined with the mystery of her father, would make for an incredible plot twist. Next up, the Everdeen family. Haymitch's best friend was Burdock Everdeen, known from the original trilogy as Katniss's father. Burdock was in love with a girl named Astrid March, a member of District 12's wealthier merchant class, while he came from the poorest area, the Seam. And their love seemed impossible. And yet, Burdock married Astrid, linking the March and Everdeen families. Astrid's parents were furious, especially when she left her privileged life behind to live with Burdock in the Seam. As we know, they had two daughters, Katniss and Primrose. Now here comes a fan theory that gained traction after the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Katniss learned a hanging tree song from her father, and some fans believed his mother might have been Maud Ivory. But in Sunrise on the Reaping, we learn that the one who actually sang that song to him was Lenore Dove. We also get a new clue about Burdock's mother. The book states that Lenore was not Burdock's direct cousin, but there were some distant ties on his mother's side. Although her name isn't revealed, this implies that Burdock's mother was likely part of the Baird family. So again, Lucy Gray and Katniss may have shared distant blood ties. And now, the Donner family, a lesser-known branch but with surprisingly deep significance. In Sunrise on the Reaping, we get an expanded look at their story. Mr. and Mrs. Donner had twin daughters, Macy Lee and Marilee. They were wealthy, and their grandmother gifted them each a brooch, a hummingbird for Marilee and a mockingjay for Macy Lee. Macy Lee didn't like her Mockingjay pin and chose not to wear it. She was later reaped for the 50th Hunger Games, where she sadly died. Her brooch remained with Marilee. Marilee eventually married Mayor Undersea, and they had a daughter, Madge. Madge, as fans will remember, was Katniss's friend, and she's the one who gave Katniss the Mockingjay pin before she entered the arena. That pin became the symbol of the rebellion. So, through twists of fate and family ties, the symbol of the revolution found its way to Katniss's hands. That was a deep dive into the family trees of the Hunger Games universe and the origin of the iconic Mockingjay pin. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Ending Explained. Until next time, and may the odds be ever in your favor.